Hi friends. In the last session, we have studied about the blocks. I hope you have worked on it. So now moving towards nested blocks. Let me first tell you what is the syntax of the nested block. So in the nested block, we can see that there are some outer block and there are some inner blocks. So first, we have this declare, and this is the outermost declare. Then there is begin. This is the outermost begin statement. So this is the outer block, and then the execution part of this block, then coming to the inner block. So inner block, then this is the whole inner block from this line number 10 to line number 16. So this again declare, begin and exception. So this block is the inner block, and then the exception of the outer block, then end. So we can see over here there are two begin statement, two declare, two exceptions. So the one in the out, the one we have declared first is the outer one, and the one we have declared afterwards is the inner one. So we can say nested blocks, there are many names for the nested blocks, and we can say them enclosed block, child block, or sub blocks also. There are different terms used by the different persons. So being a block structural language in PLSQL, we can nest these blocks for a better visibility and the scope. We'll study that how what is the advantage of this nested blocks. We can nest anonymous blocks with the within the anonymous blocks to more than one level. There could be more than one, two, three, four levels. There could be any number of levels. So the outer PLSQL block could be called as the enclosing block, or we also named it as the parent block. And the advantage of the nesting block is to give you the way to control the scope and the visibility. And I'll show you this scope and visibility with the help of an example. Let's write the example. I'll take the code from the previous one, which we have which we have which we have written in the last one. So let's take that code. Control A, Control C in the new window. So this is the one which we have written in the last line. Have hidden this output. We'll enable this once our code is ready. So in this block we'll write the nested block. This is the simple block which we have written, and I hope you have executed that also. So in this we will write a nested block. So here I'll write after this declare, begin, and this dbms output, I'll write one more block, begin. First, I'll declare one variable here. Let's say it as v prefix, and named it as varchar 2 10. Then we'll write the executable part by writing the begin. In this executable part, we'll update the name of the employee, as you have seen in the last one, the name of the employee. Let me execute this for clear visibility. Name of the employee is Suresh Thakur. So we'll update the name of the employee in the inner block. Then we'll fetch that. So update employee master table. As you can see that the employee master turns into yellow, so that means that the name of the employee table is correct. Set the table the first name, is equal to Vikas. So this is the first column we are going to edit. If I want to edit more than one columns in a table, I need to make it a comma separated. And comma separated, do not, there is no need to write two update statements for updating one same table. So please be sure for updating one same table. If we want to update one same table, then with the if we want to update two different tables, then we need two different update commands. But if we want to update one table with the multiple columns, then we just need one update command with the comma separated values. So we'll update here as employee master, set m first name as Vikas and m last name as Rana. We'll copy the where condition as it is from this table. We'll update the employee code number 1. So here we copy where m code is equal to vm code, which will pass. So the m code is here 001, and then again begin. This is I need to commit over here so that the data could be reflected. Then we'll handle the exception. If you will not handle the exception of this part and any error would happen, then it will go into the exception of the outer part. So if you do not want to handle the exception and you wanted to handle it once, then you can do it like in the one shot also. It's also not required here to handle the exception, because the exception is same for every case. If no data found, then it will show that v employee code is not found, and if some error would happen, then it will show that dbms output this error will happen. So if we do not handle exception over here, then for this it will not an problem, but still we'll handle and we'll copy paste. We'll update the control Z. We'll update the messages for a better clarity to you, that when the exception of the inner block will be called up and when the exception of the outer block will be called up. So we'll rename over here as inner block, so that you can differentiate that this is the inner block and that is the outer block. So I'll copy paste in the second exception also. Let me rename it as the inner block 1 and inner block 1 here also. We'll add one more block over here for showing you that how many that there would be multiple blocks possible. So this is the update. Then we'll again select the data after updating, that what is the result. And so I'll update, select this command as a copy paste from here. So one more block, begin. I'm not declaring over here anything. Now the thing scope comes, but I'll explain you afterwards the scope meaning. And first we'll write this, select this, and then dbms output of the first one, copy paste this line in the line number 16, then paste over here, control V. Then this is the first name of the employee. This is the inner block 2. So we'll rename over here inner block 2 for better visibility. Inner block 2, then begin, and no exception handling over here. As I told you in the earlier section also, if the error would come, then the exception would be going to the outer part. So I'm not going to handle the exception in this case. So let's execute this code. um, we have used the prefix over here, v prefix. So but there is no usage of v prefix here, but let me use it. I'm not going to end this section over here, and we'll nest this block inside the another one. So I'll make it control X, and this begin and end would be nested inside the inner block 1. So if we see, there are 3 levels over here. This is the one, level 1, where we have begin. Then this is the level 2 where we have updated, level 1 where we have selected, then level 2 where we have updated the employee master table, then level 3 again we are selecting the data, then level 4, then level 3, and this is the exception of the level 1. So this is the inner block 2, this is the inner block 1, exception of the inner block 1. There is no exception handling for the inner block 2. So this is all, and I'm selecting the prefix of this table also. So let's select the prefix emp underscore by selecting emp underscore prefix, emp underscore pr prefix. Let me check that emp, then we'll change this statement. I'll insert that in this variable which I've declared in the outer part. So this is v prefix, comma, I'm using this over here also, employee v prefix concatenated, and a space between them so that we can differentiate that this is the prefix. So let's execute it and check if there is any error. The block is successfully executed. So let me show the output. I'll tag it here, then so first time when the block is executed, the name is inner first name of the employee is Suresh Thakur. After updation, we haven't set any DBMS output, so we haven't get any of the output that the inner block 1 is successfully updated. If you want to check, add one more DBMS output, then inner block 2 is executed, and the employee name of first name of the employee is Mr. M001 is Vikas Rana. So the language is somewhat incorrect, so let me take this v prefix to the further one. So the vm code is concat with this. Yeah, let me execute it again, clear the output so that you could not get confused that it shows some error, v first name. So I think the error is over here only. There is no concat between them, so I'll add the one concat, control A, then again clear the output. Yeah, the PLSQL block is successfully completed. Now I'll explain you the scope. So this about the scope of the block. So if I tell you scope, it's very it's having very depth meaning. So please understand it. This is the first block, and we have declared first name, last name, and employee code. So for the scope of these variables would be I would say that these variables would be eligible everywhere in the block. So these first name, last name, and employee code could be used anywhere in this block. There is no restriction that out of this block this is not valid. But moving further, I've declared one sub variable, that is v prefix. So what is the scope of v prefix? V prefix, if I tell you that when the inner block 1 would end, then the this after this end statement, if I use v prefix anywhere below this statement, then that would not be a valid statement. So the scope of this v prefix is only there till the end of the first block, sorry, not the outer one, inner worst. So the first one, the v prefix one, is only eligible till the first inner block, and it is eligible for every inside blocks. Inside this declare and begin, we can use v prefix anywhere. There is no restriction on that, but outside this you cannot use it. If you will use it, then that would be an invalid statement. I hope you are clear with the scope. So if I'll say, then when the block stops executing, you can no longer refer to any of the structure of the block, not any variable, not any constant. You cannot refer those. So outside this, the first inner block, you cannot refer v underscore prefix. So the main advantages, if you will, when you will write this, you will understand that what is the main advantage of the nested blocks. The main advantage of the nested blocks is that by trapping the exception inside the program, you can allow your program to continue rather than ending with an error. So if any of the error would come inside the block, then it would not stop executing over here. It will come outside and then execute the another one. So the nested blocks have the advantages of this, that we can handle the exception and then we can proceed it further. So I hope you are clear with the blocks, nested blocks and the nested blocks. Do write one more block and do try it yourself, that how we can write, how we can nest blocks inside. Write many blocks, as much as you can possible, and then if you get some error, you will see here the errors. Then check the errors, you will get the line number also, in which line you have the error. Let's try with this v prefix scope one. So if I'll try this dbms output outside this block, this end condition, then it will not execute. So let me copy this line. I've copied this, and after this end, I'm again copying this, control V. This is inner block 2, but the statement is 2. Let me rename it to 0.1. It will not execute, the program will not execute, because v underscore prefix would not be eligible for the outside scope. Let's execute it. F5. Yeah, so now you can see the error for the one. Sorry, I've written the statement inside that block only. I have to come out. This is control X. This is the end statement of the second one. So control V over here. I'll clear this output. Then I'll execute this, control A, F5. Yeah, so you can see the error. Now it's saying that identify v prefix must be declared. So it is not in the scope, so it is showing you the error. You can see that the line number 43, column number 1 is not correct. If you go to line number 43, that would be the, yeah, so it's not considering the space. So this is the line number where you are getting the error. So if you comment this line, then you can execute your code very well. There would not be any error. Control A and then F5. So this is executed successfully. So I hope you are clear with this. Do try yourself. Thanks. Have a nice day.